How is it going, guys? It's been a long time since I uploaded my last devlog. That is because I haven't really made much progress. I was again charged up to start working on the game. I opened up my laptop and this happened. There was some problem with the display of my laptop, so I had to get it fixed, which took another couple of weeks. Now my laptop was fixed and I could again start working on my game. So the first thing that I did is trash the dialogue system as I didn't understand the code written by others and decided to make it myself.
2 minutes into the video.
So it turns out I am just dumb and I need a coder.
The search begins.
After asking like a million people, Janik finally agreed to work with me. I asked him if he could make a dialogue system and he said he could. I was so relieved, though we just decided to add dialogues later and instead work on the boss battle first. So the first thing we both did is made a new Trello page for the game and started listing down all the tasks that need to be done in order to finish the boss battle. So the idea behind the boss battle is pretty simple. The boss will move around the scene, drop baby clowns which will try to jump on the player and kill him. The player has to avoid them and shoot them in order to kill them. For each clown that the player kills, the boss will lose some health. Also, if the player falls down from the platforms, he will lose one heart. If the player loses all hearts, the boss battle restarts. If you guys remember, in the last devlog, I told you about why I trashed the boss battle on which I was working earlier. I just decided to use the same clown boss that I trashed earlier. What I had in mind was that the boss will enter the scene, then do an idle animation, then move around dropping clowns, then again idle, and we will loop the cycle until the player or the boss is dead. So I began creating animations. I created an enter animation, a move right animation, a move left animation, and an idle animation. And we just used some Unity animated magic, and now our boss was moving around in the scene. After completing this task, the next challenge we had in front of us was to make the baby jump around in the scene while following the player. So there were various ways we could approach this problem, and we tried several of them, but none of them really worked the way we wanted it to. So this is how we did it. First of all, we added a rigid body component and a polygon collider component to the clown baby. Then on collision, we checked if it has collided with the ground using tags. And if it does, we add force in the upward direction which makes it jump. So after the clown is jumping, we created a squash animation so that the jump feels bouncy. Now the jumping was done, we need to make it move towards the player. How we did this is we calculated the distance between the player and the clown. If it is greater than the distance at which we want the clown to stop, we used vector2.move towards to make it move towards the player position. Finally, after googling a lot of stuff and yoinking code, the clown baby was behaving the way we wanted it to. Now we had to find a way to make the boss drop these clowns and move around. For doing this, we used events. An event is basically a function that Unity fires up at a particular point in an animation. So I added a drop clown event in the boss move animations, and in that function I just instantiated the clown baby prefab at a particular position, and this is what we ended up with. So now we had to do one last thing. Make the player to be able to kill the enemies and also die. This is when we realized the way we were handling the health of the player was trash! Yeah, so we had a huge problem in front of us. What we were doing is using a new player prefab for the new scene. So what was happening is, for example, if the player has health 80 at the end of scene 1, it again reset to the maximum health at the start of scene 2, which we didn't want. We wanted the health of the player to persist in all scenes. So we decided that Janik will do the player health system part, and he is way more smarter than me. So I began creating a blood particle and work on the clown and clown baby health system, while Janik was trying to figure out how to make the health system for the player work. But unfortunately, due to some reasons, Janik quit and I ended up working solo again.
The search begins.
So I asked GDDev, who contacted me via Discord a while ago, and asked him if he still wanted to work with me. I told him about all the difficulties I was facing, like with the dialogue system and the problem I was facing with persisting the health of the player. So he said that he could do it. So I handed over the task to him, and I started sketching some ideas for the next scene and also trying to write dialogues and the storyline. I hope we figure this out. This health system thing, it's been bugging me for almost a week now. If you have any suggestions or game ideas, you can comment down below or join my Discord server.